Welcome back to Living and Listing at the Jersey Shore, the podcast where real estate meets real life and every story is an adventure. I am your host, Lisa Dastuto, and today we have a very special episode that's close to my heart and I believe is invaluable to many of you out there in the real estate world. Joining us from the scenic landscape of Tennessee is the remarkable Amanda Sweeney, a seasoned realtor who has not only mastered the art of selling both commercial and real estate properties, but is also a newly published author. Amanda is part of the dynamic team at Exit Realty, where she has built a career that many of us inspire. Today, we're diving into her first published book, which I cannot wait to talk about, a guide for new realtors and how to help them thrive in their first year right out of the gate once they get their license. With a startling statistic showing that over 80% of realtor or real estate agents don't make it past their first year. Amanda has taken her wealth of knowledge and experience to the drawing board, creating a manual design to turn the tides on this trend. So, her book aims to equip new agents with tools and mindset and strategy they need to not just survive, but thrive in the competitive real estate industry. So whether you're a new agent looking to make your mark, a seasoned professional seeking fresh insight, or simply fascinated by the world of real estate, this episode is for you.
Let's welcome Amanda and uncover the secrets of her wonderful book. Hey, Amanda, how are you?
Hey, thank you so much. I'm great. How are you?
I am very good. I am very excited to talk about this topic, and I do like to see realtors succeed as much as you do, and it is kind of scary out there. You know, you're all excited, you go to school, you get that license, and now you're like, what's next? And sometimes you feel like you're swimming in a fishbowl that's running out of water. You're like, hello, is anyone going to help me?
Right.
So I kind of want to know you got this light bulb moment, you want to write a book, and this was your topic. Why did you choose this topic?
I always have wanted to help people. You know, like with real estate, we get to help people invest, create a legacy, invest in their homes, their families. But I really wanted to help realtors because I realized we have over 1 million, actually, 1,554,000 realtors in the United States. And like you said, NAR mentioned that over 80% failed the first year. So I seen there was such a need for that, for someone to try to help. I mean, that's a huge number of failure in any industry. I mean, that's just unbelievably high. So I just thought, well, there's really a need here. You know, where's the disconnect from getting the license, which, as we know, we don't really use much of that. We use a whole lot more, you know. So once you get your license, you're like, well, how do I fill out this contract? Or what do I do here? And what's this zoning mean? And you really get to the meat and potatoes after you get that license. You're really not prepared, is what I found.
Exactly. And, you know, I know a lot of people who might be listening to this might not like my comment, but I've always said this, you know, for us in New Jersey, it's 75 hours and of schooling. So all you need is 75 hours and you got your license, you're off and going. And when you look at an appraiser, they have to be an apprentice for 2 years and their process is months. I don't know specifically unless you do, Amanda, but I'm off the top of my head, I would say 9 months to get, go to schooling, be certified as an appraiser. Let's just say that's how I kind of feel. I think you should have a month of getting your knowledge on appraisals, a month of title, you know, a month of contracts and filling out forms.
Yes.
And then in 9 months, you have a very good understanding of the process. And I feel that the average people would have more respect for a realtor because they know now, you know, an ultrasound person has X amount of years before they can do ultrasounds on people. 75 hours to me does not prepare an agent. And I think that is the one thing I think why realtors don't succeed because they're just not equipped with the tools.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And the competition is pretty steep because I mentioned earlier, we have over, you know, 1,554,000 and some change agents in the United States. Well, in 2023, there was only 4.3 million closed housing transactions. So if we break
Wow.
that down in simple math, I mean, it only makes 2.76 per transactions per agent if it was evenly distributed, which we know it's not. There
Right.
are percentage of us that do the most of the business. So then that
Mm-hmm.
really, not much for the newer agents that are competing with these seasoned agents that have been building their business for years and years. So the
Yeah.
competition
I know
is
when I first got my license, I did not go full time for 2 years.
okay.
But once I did go full time, which was my third year in the industry, it took off. I literally doubled my volume. And then maybe that was good because the first 2 years I got the first year was learning everything. The second year, it was a major speed bump. But I got through that, and that would be for another episode because I'm not going into that. But yeah. And then third year I took off after I said to my husband, I said, look, if I'm going to do this and make money from it, I have to go full time. I was working part-time at a dentist's office, and I would get that text and they would be like, they would need help. And I would say, okay. I knew when my lunch hour was. So I said, tied up with a client, but I will get to you at 12 o'clock. And I made sure on my lunch hour, I got to them so that I didn't miss a beat. So, but you are juggling a lot when you're trying to do real estate, learn it, and you still have a job. Because frankly, I don't think this is another thing. I don't know if you have this in your book, but by the time you get your paycheck, you have a client, you have to take them out, 30 days to close. It could be 3 or 4 months on your first right out of the gate before you get paid. Are you able to manage that? And that's what I don't think they tell you.
Right.
I know they don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you want to definitely have a good nest egg started before you leap all in, unless you do like Lisa and keep that job, that stability until you build it up to where you're comfortable to dive in,
No, that is so true. Now, I wanted to ask you this too. This is a world of social media, and there is just so much out there. And what would you tell a new agent about social media? How should they jump into this to help promote themselves, get acknowledgement?
Okay. Well, I will say, please don't do it the old way. Don't just post, just listed, sold, because that is not going to cut it. And you're not going to get any
No.
interaction that way or anybody reaching out. You really have to, I feel like people are craving authenticity and that genuine connection, like storytelling. I don't know if you know Glenda Baker, but she can tell those stories, and she has built this tremendous brand through her storytelling. So I really think that is key, is not just us getting up and talking about real estate. We kind of have to let people in a little bit into our personal lives too. Like, I'm a gardener. I've got more people from my garden videos than I do my real estate stuff. So
wow. Well, I love that about you. I do, because I connected with you that way too.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I really think that's something that most people don't tell them, is let them in a little bit to your personal life too. Share your hobbies with them. If you are a creative person and you like to paint, make videos about that too. People want to know a little bit more about you too, to see, can we connect, or would we be a good fit to work together? Because a lot of people that contact me say, I feel like I already know you. And
Yes,
they don't
that's
really
awesome.
want to interview other people because they're so set on, I know you already, I trust you. When can we do that? So I feel like the connection is really important. And I would give them advice, if someone does like comment on their video, comment back. I don't care if the little smiley face they left you, then you make a little comment right back, because that is what we're craving as realtors, is that interaction. Because without that, we have nothing. And a lot of times they don't just reach out and say, I want to sell my home. It starts with, so I've seen a lot of people just vote on that and not even respond. And I'm like, oh, what do you got people trying to connect with you right here. So you want to follow through and connect back is important.
Very great tip. Definitely very great tip. Would you say, which platform do you think a new agent should focus on? One or three or four?
What I have found is is the best. If you can go all in on one platform, I would recommend YouTube. It's a harder platform to get going. Personally, I found, but it is in the search engine. It is Google's best friend. Like all of our other platforms don't link up with the search like Google does. So all these videos that we're making, our people are going to be finding for years, and if they search,
yes, it'll be working for you.
Yes, it will work for you. And I have found that videos, even the ones from a year or two ago, still bring me potentials.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I also think too, and as I'm learning, I'm happy to share, is Google Business. Your Google Business profile is important.
Yes, that's a good one.
Because it is connected to Google Maps. It's Google, so I'm a local guide for Google as well. And that's because I need to be in all the different, like Google is like a spider and it's got legs and it's got the maps. It's got Google Forms. As long as you're using all of that, it helps you get in that algorithm and get your face out there, especially if someone's searching for your channel or your name type thing. But I think the business is good to have for sure. You need to get it verified. I have learned that. Matter of fact, they show you how to get verified on your Google Business manually. But just as a side note, they really want you to pay, because now what they're telling me is people have these business pages and they just let them sit there. So Google is deleting them now. If you haven't been on there, they're going to delete them, get rid of them. And so they only want those that are serious.
Right.
And you have to pay. And it can range from $199 to $700. Depends on what discounts
Right.
you can take advantage of. So, and I'm working on that right now. But yeah, I had the hardest time doing it organically, getting verified. And it was very frustrating. And they don't want you to do it organically. They want you to pay to get certified.
I've noticed that. Yeah. And yeah.
You're working on that one, right?
Yeah,
For sure.
I
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I do have another question. What is the one piece of advice you wish someone had given you when you started?
I wish someone would have said, you really need to treat this as a new business. Have a separate bank account for your taxes and really
Wow.
with those, and get you a good accountant, because we are running a business. So we have a lot of potentials for deductions. And we're all not trying to pay it all out, right? I'm just being honest. So you think about that though. And a lot of new agents don't realize, they don't realize till it's tax time. Oh, I should
sure.
30% of this up in a separate account and just pretend like it's not there. Is a good way, I found, just to be safe. And then if you don't have to pay it all out, that's extra money, at the end.
Right. And I think to add to that, I think you need to find an accountant that specializes in self-employed, because you are self-employed.
Correct.
And there are some deductions you can make and some you can't. So just don't go to any accountant. You need to ask them if they specialize in that, because then they'll have your back for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good tip for sure.
Yeah. And I'm sure this hasn't happened. I'm not the only one that has happened to, but when I was deciding to be a realtor, it was interesting. I actually was very surprised of the answers I would get with realtors in the office. If I said to them, I'm thinking about getting my license, they would say, oh, no, you don't want to do that. And they were serious. They weren't joking. They were like, this is a horrible industry. You don't want, if it's so horrible, why are you doing it? Yeah, I was just like, I just can't believe that and it was more than one person. I would ask everyone in the brokerage and everybody would have the same answer. And I think what made me make the push is drama in the office. And once I saw the drama, I was like, you know what? I can do this on my own. And I branched out. And not to hurt anyone's feelings, I branched out very far away. I was in Gloucester County and I did my whole market down in Atlantic County. And It was great. It was a great fresh start, and I've never looked back, and I love it. I love selling homes down at the Jersey Shore. It's awesome. And speaking about selling homes, you told me, if you don't mind sharing, that you sold a home to a celebrity. Am I correct in
I did. I was an interior designer for Alan
that?
Jackson. Yeah.
Exciting.
Yes. Because before I started real estate, I was an interior designer, and I got a break and worked for Alan Jackson on his lake home on Center Hill Lake in Smithfield,
Wow.
Tennessee. So yeah, after that, I got a lot more recognition, and it just opened up the floodgates really for my interior design business, which has helped me in my real estate because I use that with
Absolutely.
my staging and, everything really. So
It's so funny. I didn't know that about you. And it's almost like we're walking the same path, because I had always been in textiles and merchandising. That's what I went to University of Delaware for. And I did in window displays for J.C. Penney's, and I was in the buying office for Bloomingdale's, and I loved every minute of it, but got married, became a mom, and took that path. So I took a break for a while, and then I decided, well, I have this degree. I'll just get certified so people take me seriously in home staging. So that's what I did. I took a course, got licensed for that. I didn't have to do that, but I felt it, I wanted credibility, with not just to say I'm a home stager. But I got my first break with HGTV. They called me up and asked me if I wanted to do one of their episodes, Bargain Beach Hunt renovation. And it was in Ventnor. And I was like, absolutely. And it was really a exciting adventure the entire time. And, yeah, I loved it. The only thing I regret is I couldn't sneak my photographer in. I really wanted my photographer in to take pictures. And in my contract I signed, they were like, no pictures whatsoever. And as soon as we filmed, it was as quick as we took everything down. And it was just a challenge. I mean, I had taken my own personal pictures, but I really wanted to get it done professionally just so that I could share it with others. It was truly a wonderful journey. And that definitely kicked me off as well. And once that happened, it's funny because I'll be home and I'll look at my phone and someone will say, "You're on TV." I have to pinch myself. I'll get clients who actually just ask me to decorate their homes,
Right.
even after I sell the house, because I'm pretty confident in going through a home and being able to just articulate like a vision for them and saying, hey, I know this is, not your cup of tea, but you can do this, and that, and change it to your style. Because if I'm helping them envision what they're seeing while they're in the house, and, hopefully that will get them to fall in love with the home. If not, we're on to the next house. But do you find yourself doing the same thing?
Yeah, I definitely do. We went into a property the other day. It's a pocket listing, so it's not on the market yet. And my people have been looking for some land, and there's a house on it, but I had been told it needs some work. So I told them it needs some work. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's falling down or what. But so we get out there, and it needs some work, but it wasn't falling down, like a new roof, a couple windows, just updated, but it was just on some gorgeous land. It was like 35 and a half acres. But they are so glad to get a deal because it appraised for 600,000, but they would let it go for 550,
Wow.
So I'm hoping, that works out for them because they've been looking.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. It's never a dull moment.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. So Amanda, how can listeners get your book?
You can get the book on Amazon. That's where it's for sale right now, is on Amazon. I've got a link from my website also to Amazon, AmandaSweeneyJones.com. And
Awesome.
Check it out.
And what's the title of the book?
Thrive as a New Realtor.
Thrive as a New Realtor. I love that. How'd you get that title? Or just one of those just clicks?
Yeah, it just did. I did struggle with the title a little bit because I'm like, well, I wanted to, and then I had to do a little research, make sure there's nothing out just like it. So yeah, it worked. It worked because that's really what it is about for me. Because I'm not about like I don't see you or any other realtor as competition. I just, I want to collaborate with everybody and I want to help them and maybe
True.
see how they can
I
help me
agree.
too, you know?
You know, I always, well, this is my motto with when it comes to real estate and not feeling that you have competition out there. You know, I used to sell French skincare and I said that there's skin everywhere. I'm not worried about it, because there is a lot of skincare products and people would be like, how do you think you can succeed? And it's okay. I know my products are good and there's plenty of skin out there. And I feel the same way with housing. There's plenty of houses out there and there's enough to go around. Yeah.
Yes. And maybe not discourage new agents like you have found. If
Mm-hmm.
someone says, hey, I'm considering getting into real estate and I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about getting a license, I don't ever discourage them. I'm like, let me send you all the information and I'd love
Sure.
to have you at exit. And I got a whole marketing plan
Yeah.
for you already. And I really try to encourage them. I believe in building each other up,
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Definitely 100%. Well, I just loved just getting to know you better and getting to know your book. And I just thank you so much for wanting to do this podcast with me. And I hope that the audience loves it too. If you have any questions for Amanda, please put them down in the comments below. And we will see you on the next episode.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Living and Listing at the Jersey Shore today. We hope you enjoy this episode as much as I enjoy creating it for you. If you find value in what you heard, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel and leave us a comment with your thoughts. Your feedback helps us and improves our tailored future episodes to better suit your interests. So remember, you can always connect with us on the social media like TikTok and Instagram, Spotify to keep up with the latest updates and behind the scenes content. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and happy house hunting. This is Lisa Dastuto signing off. Goodbye for now.